6.5%, was it? Is that what the current odds are of the Stanley Cup?
Well, and if you look at the round-by-round progression, the Stanley Cup favorite is the Vancouver Canucks.
Like, what a time to be alive!
Talking you through every goalie controversy, scoring slump, and draft lottery bust, this is the C4 Podcast on CanucksHockeyBlog.com. Here they are, the best starting lineup we could afford under the salary cap. Chris, Matt, Anna, and Adam.
Welcome to another episode of the C4 Canucks Hockey Podcast, brought to you by the Full Press Coverage Network and CanucksHockeyBlog.com. I am Chris at Lightforce, the podcaster extraordinary who mixes up his podcast from time to time, joined virtually as always by the very straightforward, doesn't ever commit the mistake that Chris just did, Anna Forsyth at A4603. Welcome, Anna.
Thanks, Chris. I mean, honestly, after the game that we just saw today, recording on the Monday, I can understand you not wanting to talk about the Canucks.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? This team, fell behind early, established a 2-goal lead, and then I turned it off because it was in the bag.
Yeah.
They're 3-0 right now, right? I mean, I haven't been able to watch the Canucks. Lots going on, but I mean, they had a 3-goal lead on Saturday against the Oilers. They were up by 2 against the Flyers on the weekend. I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
Was it Saturday? Was the Flyers? Sorry,
yeah, Edmonton was Wednesday, but yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, 3-0 Vancouver Canucks. Everything's good. Bruce, there it is.
Yeah, switch that, reverse that one, because, unfortunately, the games molded together in one huge game, goal-surrendering mess. But the Canucks have lost their first 3 games.
Wait, whoa. No. You got it wrong, Anna. There's no way a team starts off the season with 3 games in which they have multi-goal leads and loses all 3.
What if I told you that 99-point JT Miller was on for 9 goals against straight?
Oh, gosh. Yeah. I remember, we'll get into it when we get into the show, but I was talking about how, JT Miller was on track for a 100 some odd point season. And I had said, trade bait.
Yeah.
Now, I mean,
should have traded him during the first game.
Yeah. Pull him from the ice. JT Miller will not return as he's been traded.
Yeah.
It has been a week in the world of the Vancouver Canucks, and I use that term loosely. Obviously, it's our first show in 2 because we took a much-needed break over the course of Thanksgiving to recharge our podcast batteries. But apparently, the Vancouver Canucks are currently on the road, enjoying the sights and sounds of a variety of different cities before they make their way back to Vancouver. And being the hospitable guests, they are giving up scoring opportunities galore because it's about giving.
Yeah, you've got to be good visitors, right? So you can only take so much before you have to give back.
Yeah. Anyway, let's rewind and talk about this tire fire of a week. I mean, we sort of already talked about the tire fire that was the week. I mean, can we just go into half full, half empty now and call it an episode?
Yeah, and just say, okay, empty. Done.
Oh my goodness. When the Vancouver Canucks came out to that hot start against the Oilers, it was what? I think PD had scored. Was it within a minute? Yeah. If that? I think was it PD that scored the first goal? I don't remember. At this point, it's
Pretty sure it was. But yeah,
I am unsure as to how a team can give up multi-goal leads 3 straight games and lose. I was thinking about this. Do you know if the Vancouver Canucks had simply just gone 0 for 3? They just lost.
Yeah, not great, right? But you'd accept it.
Wouldn't been happy about it. But yeah, I mean, slow start. This is always the case. Yeah. Look at the blue line. All injuries. Yeah, it's, but I don't know how one goes and explains this one away.
Yeah. I mean, especially the opposition they're coming up against, and I would say, like, Washington aside, who are a very experienced team, but the Oilers, despite having a generational player, maybe two, league-leading players in McDavid and Draisaitl, like, they have very poor goaltending, and they have a really lack of experience and depth. Canucks seem to exploit that. And then the play fell off a cliff. Same with Philly. They have some poor goaltending, some inexperience down the roster. And, it's the veterans we're talking about here. Like, it's the stars. Like, PD's been on and off. Miller's been coasting most of the time. Literally.
That's. I mean, I don't know, but that seems to be a regular thing with him.
Yes. He does. He gives and he takes. Yeah, that's why kind of hard to like. But believe me,
He drops the F.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have any to give.
100% right. Like, this is why I find it hard to criticize Bo Horvat's like give an F meter. Like, by all means, criticize his play. He's been not great for most of the games. He had some spots here and there with Pearson in the Caps game, but like Miller, like, is he supposed to be the leader on the ice? Because I don't see it. Just because he drops a couple of F-bombs, like, I don't call that passion.
That's good leadership.
Yeah, like,
heart.
That's just...
It's good in the room. Got to drop the Fs.
And honestly, he is good in the room, but he's not the guy, like, to lead the team and face the press.
Let's talk about this. The reason that Hank wasn't a good captain, because he didn't just drop enough Fs.
Right. But, like, yeah, I mean, Bo is Hank 2.0.
You know Trev, when he wasn't in front of a camera, was dropping the F.
Oh, yeah.
Steamer seems like a guy who probably dropped the Fs.
Yeah. I mean, he's like a shorter dude, so I think he has this little anger in him.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I agree with you there. It's an interesting dynamic that's playing out within the context of Canucks Twitter and sort of the Canucks sort of PR space, and whether or not there is a correlation to what might be playing out within the dressing room. The team got issues.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't do what the Vancouver Canucks do if you don't have issues. Like, there has been no other team that has done what the Canucks have done these 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
Ever.
I do agree with you. Canucks have issues. Like, we still don't know what the hell happened to Rachel Dory. Like, cap space, I don't know her. Like, so many issues off the ice. But given the players they're putting out on the ice, these results are not okay. Like, given you've got Pedersen, you've got JT, given you've got Besser supposedly reborn and he's done okay, but not great. Like, none of these players are leading the, like, should be performing in the way that they have been.
Yeah. You know who the Vancouver Canucks miss right now?
Tyler Myers?
I was going to say Jason Dickinson.
Oh. Both.
Well, I mean, the fact... Okay, so if you didn't realize this, the Vancouver Canucks acquired a defenseman from Chicago, Riley Stillman, and to do so, it cost them Jason Dickinson and a second-round draft pick. Why? Because, well, Dickinson cost more money. I mean, that's really what it came down to. The Vancouver Canucks had to offload a contract to even make that work. Dickinson happened to be it. And look at that. Jason Dickinson's lighting it up there in Chicago, the Windy City. He had, I think, prior to tonight's game, would have been leading the Vancouver Canucks in points early in the season, if he was a Canuck. But I don't know if you saw the comment that Jason Dickinson made. He apparently had a broken bone in his hand.
Yeah, I did hit that.
Most of last season.
That's insanity.
Like, he didn't know. Like, this is the thing, he didn't know. And we've talked about players and injuries is that, well, my ankle, I broke my ankle many years ago. It gets sore. Like, it's healed, but it gets sore and it's a pain that I can sort of deal with. I kind of wonder if he just thought it was like, you took a bruise or whatever.
Okay, but like you don't have like a high end doctor and several staff like checking your body constantly.
Sure. But we've talked about how players, can be their own worst enemy. Did he ever bring this up?
I don't know. I mean, I do think this is where hockey's team culture, what was he doing? Like, if he was playing through pain, why? Like, it's not like he was leading the team or he was integral to the team. He was playing badly.
No, and so anyhow, the broken hand apparently contributed a lot to that. And, if we rewind here, the Vancouver Canucks did make some big adjustments in their, sort of health and performance department. Mm-hmm. So there may be
ties. Yeah, I actually hadn't thought about that. So it's a good point. But yeah, you do think with every square inch of their body being monitored, you wouldn't, considering that Dickinson's play somewhat fell off a cliff when he got to Vancouver, compared to Dallas, wouldn't you think, is there something wrong in your body? Are you playing to your full potential? Is there anything we can do to help you perform? And he couldn't say my hand gets sore sometimes. Maybe my stick's wrong or maybe something's wrong. Oh, I don't know. It seems well to me that happened.
Yeah. Anyhow, he is in Chicago. Riley Stillman's here in Vancouver. And let's see here. Riley has played in 3 games and has currently got himself 0 points. So, I mean, in fairness, the Vancouver Canucks blue line needed help. I do understand the necessity of
do I think
an acquisition?
He's going to completely turn around the fortunes? No, but considering the fact that Tyler Myers is gone, Tuck Pullman's now gone, Quinn Hughes isn't.
They called up Noah Juleson.
Yeah, King of Abbotsford,
who got himself benched late in the game against Washington tonight.
What's Jack Rathbone got to do?
Not be Jack Rathbone, I don't know.
But yeah, Kyle Burroughs is the Canucks' best player so far, quite arguably, and he's at least their best defenseman.
So are you buying into the dogs here, the dog rating from Faber?
No,
and
I am very anti the dog rating because.
Okay, because Burroughs apparently his dog's through the roof.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's DAWG.
Woof. But
just for our listeners.
Yeah, I mean, Faber, apparently Bo doesn't have a dog in him and JT Miller does, so he definitely yaps enough. But what I would say is I think he is arguably the best defenseman and transition defenseman on the team right now. And I'm not saying that to hype up Kyle Burroughs. I'm kind of saying that's bad.
Well, okay, in fairness, Kyle Burroughs getting bonus production out of Kyle Burroughs is good.
Yes.
Getting no production out of who you would expect and rely on Kyle Burroughs, bad.
Yes, precisely that. Absolutely here for Kyle Burroughs having a breakthrough mini season, whatever. But yeah, he shouldn't be breaking through a just completely mediocre team. But he seems nice and he loves the team. Clearly he's very excited about it, but yeah, we really need someone to support him.
So, Burroughs happened to be the recipient of a piece of lumber tonight.
Yes.
Which was penalized on the ice for what was not a major?
Nope, 2 minutes.
I honest to goodness, I when it happened at the time, I'm I just thought, he clipped him, he's swinging a stick around, sort of what have you. But
okay,
was it Kuznetsov that?
Yeah, it was Kuznetsov.
Took the swing. Yeah, it was it was. I don't want to get into the refereeing quite yet, But how is that only a 2-minute penalty? How is it that our official on the ice sees that type of swing and is like,
I mean, if that doesn't get suspension, like, I just don't know. But can't we go off on the officiating now? Because
okay, fine, let's go off on the officiating.
And we can come back to why it shouldn't necessarily matter. But, the Quinn Hughes high stick in the first game, it seems, one, it was so obvious.
Hey, if the Kuznetsov is only 2 minutes, Quinn needs to suck it up. That was incidental contact.
Like, the bleeding was obvious. And not only that, if you're not, you can see the blood, give the 4 minute, and then it's a reviewable play because it's a 4 minute. So if it turns out you were wrong and he didn't get high sticked, it was his own stick or whatever, then the play is reviewable and can be reversed. So, yeah, that one was just mind-blowing. The Hoglander, like, he gets high sticked and then, like, swings his stick around after the contact, and he gets.
So I was going to bring, he got butt ended, which hurts. I can't say I've been butt ended in ice hockey, but when I played floor hockey, I took a butt end of a stick in the jaw. It does not tickle, and I did something very similar. I sort of like my hands are coming up and I let go of my stick and it like clipped someone and people are yelling at me for controlling my stick. Meanwhile, I've got like a gash in like my like cheek lower jaw area. So I feel his pain.
Yeah.
But yes, 2 minutes for you.
Like if you have to call his because, I mean, I don't know what the rules would be because one happened before the other. So if they called the first one, then the second one wouldn't have happened, or like would have happened after the whistle.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, say that though.
No, and I'm not like I'm not an NHL referee. I'm not a hockey referee, but we've seen many times where players are told to be responsible for their stick at all times. As much as it may be problematic that your stick, because I mean he brought it up, it was still in his hand. His reaction was what caused it to happen. He did tap a guy in the head with his stick. Like that would be a high sticking penalty, if not for the butt end. To me, the fact that it was only on Hoglander blows my mind. If they had said 2 and 2,
you'd just be like,
I wouldn't be happy about it, but okay. It just sucks that the rule is that way, right?
Yeah, because you'd be like, I guess it's part of the same like action. Really, you can't separate the butt end and then the high stick.
Right.
So I don't
exactly. Or I mean, I think the smart officiating would have been 4 for the butt end, 2 for the you would find a way to acknowledge and make it right.
Management, baby.
That's right. I mean, I thought that's what NHL officials were all about.
It was so funny, actually, because I was listening to the game on 650 on the way home today, and I just heard, I can't remember if it was Batch saying this or not, but it was just like so off, like offhand, not even thought about, but just saying, oh, that's not getting called in 3 minutes left in the game. It's just like, you just know, like, that's like, calls aren't going to be made in the same way.
So, are like on the officials though? I mean, there are many people out there in the Canucks social sphere, in the Smelosphere, who are like, "Oh, the referees hate Vancouver and they cost Vancouver these games."
No, I mean, I don't think either of those are true. I mean, one is there some conspiracy against Vancouver. No, you're giving the referees too much credit again. There's just low standard of refereeing. Like we've heard even today, like some interesting calls around the league. So I don't think it's targeted to Vancouver at all.
Off the rails here. Did you see the hand pass?
I haven't seen it yet. I've just heard I've read the rule book again before I watched the video.
Okay, there's 2 angles. One, you could say, okay, that's weak, but I could sort of see that's the case. And another one, okay, no, it's not. But anyhow, whatever. I'm all for the Leafs losing. Yeah. Let's just make that very clear.
And losing to Arizona is always funny, but
But yeah, anyhow,
But yeah, the second part, like, is it Rest fault Canucks lost? No. Like, you can't go 1-for-8 on your power play in the first game of the season. Were some of the calls tonight a bit dubious? Yes. But the PK is gonna have to defend like a penalty, whether it's legit or not. Like, that's their job, right?
Well, but the worst thing about the Vancouver Canucks PK is it's reliant on a blue line.
Oh yeah. What is that?
Right? Like, the Vancouver Canucks are just not in a good place. I mean, we knew the blue line was going to be a weakness. You have had your blue line described by the front office as certainly adequate when healthy. It's not healthy. So the front office already defined to everyone. This is not you and I, very optimistic Canucks podcasters here. Right? Like, oh my gosh, it hurts, Anna.
Well, because it's so bad. Because it's every part of the game right now. That's what hurts. It's like the power play for the most part looks stale. It got maybe a little better tonight, but like it looks stale. Like they've figured the Canucks out. Like, can we watch PD wait for one-timers anymore? Like, I can't do that.
And they move the puck so slow.
And it happened last season too. And I thought, they had figured that out, that like they've at least got to move it fast.
Yeah, no, but like it's a one-trick power play, right? Mm-hmm. We know what's going to happen. The team you're playing, they're a lot smarter, and they got people who are paid to study you so well. They know what's going to happen. And guess what? It's like you're holding up little placards that say, I am about to pass the puck over to Quinn. He's going to spin and pass it back to me, and I will give it to P.
Animation.
And then you see it happen, right? The scene then plays out. It is crazy. And the Vancouver Canucks are pretty cool about the whole, let's put 4 forwards on the ice, but let's cough it up and make real low percentage plays with the puck to ensure that blue line that's already weak now has a forward that can't skate backwards on it.
Yeah. I mean, that's it, right?
Hey, did they give up a shorthanded goal tonight?
No, I think just in Philly and Edmonton.
Oh, look at that.
Progress.
Small victory. It's a moral victory. Yeah. The team is figuring things out. I mean, they tried figuring things out by not scoring the first goal and getting the early lead. They got the later lead, but it was not late enough.
Yeah, it's funny. Me and my roommate always joke about like the football cliche. Now would be a great time to score. Mm-hmm. And like we always think, like, okay, but when is a bad time to score? But it turns out early in the game, also in the second period. Yes. So third, which the Canucks have yet to figure out. No goals in the third period yet. So that's the good time to score.
And how many goals have they given up in the third period?
Lots.
Yes, very much. It generally happens when you have multi-goal leads going into the third period.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what is it? 5 straight, 4 straight, 5 straight goals? Is that how?
Oh, gosh, I don't want to go back and look. 5. I don't know. I just know they were up by 3, up by 2, up by 2. So
I mean, that last wasted review was like the real just kick while you're down.
Oh, when they're talking about it on TV, it's like, oh yeah, no, that's onside. Like the resignation in the voice of that ain't even close. That's onside. But hey, maybe I don't know I mean, I get it at that point.
Yeah,
that goal goes in. You're done.
And also, Ovi went in before the puck, but the puck wasn't on.
Yeah, but you're allowed to, as long as you have with control, right?
Yeah. So
it used to be that wasn't the case.
I don't hate that challenge. It was like kind of desperate, but it was just like, final nail in the coffin.
Yeah. Who's leading the Vancouver Canucks in shots right now?
Kuzmenko.
Bing, bing, bing. 12 shots on net. Leads the Canucks with 12, followed by Petey at 11.
I mean, that's not awful. Like, they're meant to be 2 of your best players, but those are low totals.
It is. Now, conversely, JT Miller, how many shots do you think JT's got?
Is it more than 5?
No, it is 5. 2 goals on 5 shots. But here's the guy who's, to many, the real captain, the guy that is the heart and soul of the team, the engine, the big
Everyone
contract.
knows. Okay, no, the heart and soul of this team is Rip the team dog, the real dog.
Okay. Yeah, yes, I agree. But Rip ain't out on the ice.
Unfortunately, we're gonna try it, maybe.
But yeah, no, like he's got 5 shots now. Yeah, high percentage. He's got 2 goals out of those 5 shots. Yay! But what was it prior to tonight? He had been on ice for pretty much every goal that had ever been scored against the Vancouver Canucks forevermore.
Yeah, it was 9 straight, so including the first goal tonight. So, I mean,
good for JT.
Yeah, you and I know that like plus minus isn't like a great measure of a player over time, but being on the ice for all 9 goals against in a row, that's a good measure. And if you know JT Miller and what he was doing,
I was going to say, like,
whilst on the ice,
you know, he's if he was Cody Hodgson and AV was the coach, JT would get a lot of offensive zone starts.
Yeah.
I don't think Cody Hodgson would have ever gotten JT money, mind you. But
Can you imagine if like a player like Goldobin like did that? Apparently he didn't move his feet enough on the ice. Then what's JT doing? Like, don't get me wrong, when JT's on, he's on, and it's really entertaining to watch, but
I'm just going through the shots. Curtis Lazar needs to shoot more because he's got a 50% shot percentage.
well, there you go.
Yeah, one goal on 2 shots.
I mean, score tonight, right? Yeah. There you go.
Well, yeah. So I mean, got to do what you got to do. Oh my goodness! I again, it's early. I'm not like people out there. Oh, it's got to be must win. Does Bruce survive the road trip? Okay. If Bruce doesn't survive the road trip, please, they'd have to be blowing this team. It would have to be like,
we're starting
everything is for sale. Like a friend of the show, Jay, had commented they need, like, and this was after the last game. He was so fire sale. And I had said, I agree, but it feels to me that the Vancouver Canucks are the everything must go store, not the everything must go sale. But
I see.
Yeah, anyhow.
Yeah. I mean, if this was the Premier League, Bruce might already be gone.
Oh my goodness. They let go coaches like, so I don't understand it. Yeah, we brought this gaffer in. Transfer window hasn't even closed yet. Fired.
Yeah.
Like,
it's bizarre, right? Like when they fired Tuchel at Chelsea, I was like, what are you doing? Anyway, they won the last 2 games, so what do I know? Yeah.
Why do you even care what Chelsea does if they're losing?
No, I mean, it's true. I just thought it was dumb. Like,
you
honestly,
being the big Gunner supporter and all.
Yeah, no, I love Chelsea doing dumb things, and I hope it kind of comes to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I much preferred Spurs when they were under Jose Mourinho, because he's a bad manager. But anyway.
I got to see Jurgen Klopp get sent off this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
In fairness, I don't understand how the foul against Salah was not called, but...
But again,
hey,
like the refs in the game...
Jurgen was a very naughty boy.
Yeah, I mean, I've not been Jurgen's biggest fan for a while. I think his
I think he even made contact with the AR. Like,
gets old. We can't be doing that.
No.
But
anywho,
again, the refs
Bruce getting out there
on the BL right?
Yeah, knocking over the linesman.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not suggesting Bruce gets let go. But I genuinely wonder if, as we sort of look ahead here, the Vancouver Canucks play again tomorrow. You'll be listening to this episode, so that might be today, and you might be listening to this episode later than that, so it may have already happened against the Blue Jackets. This is on Tuesday. They have a game against the Wild on the Thursday. And
then home opener, baby. on the Saturday
against the Buffalo Sabres, and I'm just wondering if
you can't lose to Buffalo. You can't.
the fans will be in a supportive mood. I mean, they will be. The building will be supportive at puck drop.
Yeah, will it last?
But if things go off kilter, and that's the thing is the way the Vancouver Canucks have been playing right now, they're like, let's say they got a 2-0 lead against the Sabres, and then the Sabres score a goal, you'll hear it in the building.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll hear that energy change. It'll be like, and then if they tie, oh my goodness, the fans will let them have it.
Yeah. The only thing to be said for the Minnesota game is that Canuck killer Kevin Fiala isn't there anymore, so that's one good thing, but we'll see if that actually plays out into anything on the ice. Yeah, honestly, it's so hard to know what to say because it's the same things, right? In every single game. It was bad turnovers, it was missed assignments, it was a stale power play. Just every single game.
Well, and, I was just thinking, like, normally we would say, let's sort of, how do we feel the Vancouver Canucks are going to do? I haven't a clue. I could not tell you, Anna, what I think the Vancouver Canucks will do. Because what have they proven that they're able to do? Score goals.
Yeah.
But then they reach that point, which is called the third period. They no longer remember how to, and they apparently can't stop them.
Yeah.
Like, the game tonight against the Capitals, when that goal went in, it was 4-3 Canucks early in the third, and suddenly we're like, oh, it's not going to happen again. It can't happen again. Then they score 4. Oh, so the Vancouver Canucks are going to lose tonight. Like,
yeah,
it's not like, oh, hey guys, timeout, let's settle down. It's like, no, we're losing. It's just a matter of when. It's going to happen tonight. It's not even going to make it to overtime.
Yeah,
didn't.
And you can't blame us for thinking that, right? But like, how can the players are 3 games in? If the players are thinking that, that's trouble.
Well, and they are. I mean, in the post-game pressers, it's essentially been said as much. Bruce had talked about it being mentally draining.
Yeah.
Like, I joked that we were going to be very optimistic.
I mean, we kind of
my optimism
are,
is
because we just don't know what will happen.
Yeah, and this continued streak won't go on forever.
No, you can't lose away to 2 games.
No, like if anything,
almost impossible.
The back-to-back, I feel, is a good thing because it doesn't let you sit there and dwell.
Yeah.
You just have to move on.
And I guess they should be lucky that Bruce can't bag skate them on game day on a back-to-back.
Well, he already tried that, did he not? Like, so, I mean, on a back-to-back, maybe not, but I think they had a bag skate after the
I don't
Flyers
think it
game.
Was a full, training camp bag skate, but
it was a hard skate.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, in the words of Ted Lasso, the Vancouver Canucks just need to be like goldfish.
I do actually get that reference.
Yay! Oh man. Well, you know what? I think we've talked about what is going on long enough. You're listening on the C4 podcast on CanucksHockeyBlog.com and the Full Press Coverage Network.
Take hitting out of the game. You can't hit anymore, so don't do it.
The unsportsmanlike conduct, I want to get an explanation on it.
No kidding.
Because how do you get suspended for unsportsmanlike conduct?
Plus interference. There's no interference there. He had the puck.
Now, Madison never ever did that before. Now, why did he do it? And that because he was mad.
Well, your early favorite for the Calder Trophy, that's for sure. Elias Pettersson, you might even say your early favorite for the Hart Trophy.
Just to get back to your question, Elias is going to play plenty. He didn't play. He's going to get a lot of power play time. And, yeah, I'm concerned about our offense. We lost 200-point players, and we've got to find a way to score.
Our notes currently say Canucks depth on D, lack thereof.
We can skip that.
And just saying, we've talked about that's our new JT Miller. Canucks depth on D is the new saga. We'll talk about it every episode.
I mean, it's true. I mean, it's been going on longer than the JT Miller saga, which is Sad.
Yeah, that is very, very true. Like, thinking about the Vancouver Canucks, have they had real depth on the blue line since Dan Hamhuis left?
It's very arguable that was the last great D-man departing.
Well, no, I mean Tanev, right?
Yeah.
Like, but if you think about it, like it wasn't like there was sort of like you had a number one like a first pairing, you had a second pairing, like it was very definitive.
Sure.
Now the Vancouver Canucks, they kind of do, right? Like it just feels that you have a first line player and a bunch of second pairing, third pairing defensemen.
That's the thing, because Quinn Hughes is
and nothing much else after that.
Defenseman, one of the best players in the league. Not currently playing like it, but it's definitely true. You can't hang the defensive mishaps totally at Quinn Hughes' door. Like, it's not like if he was playing to his full strength, everything would be fine.
Well, he's been asked to do so much. And like I think Wyatt had mentioned it on Twitter, or maybe it was Faber. I can't remember who off the top of my head. He looked tired.
Yeah.
And that's great because he's probably going to be asked to play even more minutes. Because I mean, he's on the power play. He's being sent out on the penalty kill, 5-on-5 top pairing.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me think of, was it Canucks Conversation or Harrison Price? Someone who does polls on Twitter asked who the best Canucks defensive center was. And the sad thing is it's Pedersen. And that's like, again, not something you should be super proud of. It's Pedersen because he's the best. He's the best player on the team. And even his less strong part of his game is still stronger than the people whose job it is to be defensive centers.
Yeah.
And that's not... I don't think that's helping him.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
And that happened last season too. Where he was doing so much defensive work. His play suffered, and when Bo first became captain, and the season before that, he was doing so much defensive work. But yeah, it's just we can't. The forwards need to be better as a whole defensively, and it can't just fall on one or two players' shoulders.
So yeah, like Quinn Hughes right now is averaging just under 27 minutes a game, time on ice.
That's just not okay. Like that on the road, games are coming thick and fast. He's tired and he's going to get more fatigued and he's going to play worse. Like
OEL is the next on that list at 21:40. So there's actually a 5-minute difference per game between Hughes and OEL 1-2.
And it's kind of telling that Bruce was, loading up, quote unquote, the D pairs by putting OEL and Hughes together. And it's like, yeah, because what else do we have? Like, we have Noah Jolson, who, bless his heart, is like a strong AHL player, but I don't think he's cut out for the NHL, or at least he's not ready for it.
Well, considering he only got 11 minutes tonight and got benched for a good portion of the third period, got a big hill to climb there.
Yeah. And yeah, honestly, very quick sidebar, but I think a lot of people expected him to be named captain of the Abbotsford Canucks. He's like a local kid and everyone loves him. Said it was Chase Waters, who seems like such a good leader. Now it seems like he wasn't named captain because he's a tweener player, doesn't want to, if he's going to be called up all the time. That's not great for a captain, but I don't know. I feel like he should still be in Abbotsford or at least be in the press box, and Jack Rathbone should be playing. And hopefully we'll get to see that tomorrow, but that's not going to completely change the fortunes of the defensive unit, is it?
No, not at all. I'm just looking at time on ice here. The following Quinn and OEL are 3 centers, which is interesting. I mean, I presume it has to do with the power play.
Yeah.
But, and then, I would presume Horvat goes out for more face-offs than the others. But it's JT at 2026, Horvat at 1959, and Pettersson at 1919.
Yeah, and can we talk about how the fact that like Pedersen and Lazar are like been playing together, like that didn't look good to me. Like they just don't fit together at all. Like in terms of the games they play, but
I think it's mixing things up because Pettersson was playing with Kuzmenko and I think it was Bud Colson, was he not?
Yeah,
for the first couple of games of the season.
Yeah, but you know what? Give me Lotto line or give me death. No,
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. But Hoglander, like,
why would you have two centers together?
No, I know we got to spread out those centers so they can, not back check on defensive plays on different lines.
Hey, Petey back checks. Petey is the best defensive forward they've got right now.
But
good for Petey.
You need a skilled winger to play alongside PD. Like he can't be the best defensive center and carrying a winger that doesn't play the same game as him and doesn't play as fast as him. Like he can't do all those things.
Can I just point out that I thought Dakota Johnson had a pretty decent game tonight, save for that awful penalty that was called against him that negated an upcoming.
Yeah.
Dakota Joshua. What did I say?
Dakota Johnson, who I think is an actor.
Oh, I meant Dakota Joshua. Sorry.
He's quietly been all right, which is what you want from a fourth liner.
Yeah, in the context of the role that he's supposed to be playing, I noticed him, not for bad reasons.
Yeah.
There were some he cost them the power play. That would have changed the dynamic. He got called for interference, and I, honest to goodness, could not tell you why, unless it was game management. But even then, as we talked about in game management and Rewind, there didn't seem to be any. So who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what... I can't say I've noticed Neil Oman, which is...
Yeah, Neil's Oman.
I think he was pretty rough in his first NHL game, but since then he's not stood out to me, but maybe that's just because other people are doing worse. Yeah. You'd think the Jack Rathbone gets a look in tomorrow, but Canucks are slim on options.
Is he traveling with the team?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's been in all the videos.
Well, I haven't watched any of the social media content other than when they were leaving the airport and all the dogs were there.
Yeah.
Rip was there, sorry. Not all the dogs. Rip was there. But
unless you're including all the dogs that are inside the players.
I am not. Okay. I am not including. Do you know what? Guaranteed, this is going to take off. It's going to be better than Corsi because it's going to, dog measures heart and grit and all sorts of other stuff, which is what the traditionalists want.
Yeah.
And then the computer geeks, they want the formula, and it's bringing the two together.
Yeah,
I could see how the dog in you will become, that's how, in the next, NHL entry draft, or as you call it, the boy lottery, they'll be saying that this player has a 63% dog in him.
Yeah. It's the boy auction, please.
Yeah, boy auction. Yes. Sorry. Did I call it lottery?
Yeah, that's the first one.
I think so.
And then...
Yes, boy lottery, boy auction. Yeah. Got
it. But yes, Canucks don't have a lot of choice in the blue line. And speaking of, Tucker Pullman is out with concussion again. Or migraines, I think is the official call. They probably called it upper body injury, because your head's part of your upper body.
No, I think they did. I think they did say migraine.
They did say that,
but no good.
Yeah,
and you know what? Stay away from the game for however long, right?
Yeah, because he tried so hard to be back. Right, everyone's talked about the work he put in over the summer to get back, and the fact that it takes one knock, he's kind of back where he was. It didn't know. Shows you repeated incidents of head trauma just really increases the likelihood that you're going to have a lasting impact. Your concussion, wasn't the keenest on a 2.5 million per year contract, but at this stage, it's all about the player's long-term health, and it doesn't seem safe for him to be on the ice right now.
No, and I mean, the way the Canucks are playing, get better. Don't rush back. Although, I mean, sure, could use the help, but don't rush back. Health's more important.
Yeah, we've got to wait for Tyler Myers' gigantic half of his lower body to recover.
Actually, I haven't heard. Is there any indication how long Myers is out?
Well, it was 3 to 4 weeks, and that was a week ago. So, not by the home opener.
No. Oh, well. Hockey Canada, we were hitting them pretty hard in our last episode. We had said, hey, they're going to go in front of a parliamentary committee. They've united, the House in some respect, which is an unheard of thing to be able to accomplish. They had what I could best describe a horrible showing in front of the parliamentary committee and maybe it was that, the PR company they had hired, the crisis management company or whatever it was, and encouraged them, take the fight to the politicians. Yeah, it didn't go over so hot. Andrea Skinner, who was the interim board chair, she resigned, and then soon after, I think it was the following day, the board and the executive all stepped down too, although with an asterisk, they're still there.
They're still there.
The board is, until a new board is elected.
And
so,
unfortunately, that's pretty standard practice. The thing we need to know about is how we're picking a new board, because the current board has shown a complete contempt for the proceedings and everything around that's been brought to them. They've showed a complete lack of transparency, as evidenced today by a third fund.
Well, and it's a fund that was designed in such a way to be hidden so that should there be a payout, that it wouldn't be presumed that Hockey Canada was all that rich.
Yeah. And that's clearly why when MPs have asked these questions in and outside of these committees, they've been completely shut down and shown complete disrespect and, zero decency, zero shame from Hockey Canada. And let's not forget that, at every turn, if we didn't have Rick Westhead and Katie Strang, hounding them, we wouldn't have found even a tenth of this out.
Well, no, exactly. And this is I'll give credit to the parliamentary committee, because they were going hard at Hockey Canada throughout this process. But Hockey Canada continued to sort of give answers. I mean, they weren't really volunteering anything. In the last session, tried to blame the media, and that it's the whole we're not that bad because everyone else is bad too. Oh, that makes sense. And you have a beautiful reputation. I actually think the comment about how Hockey Canada's reputation was a good one is why they then saw, it was just an exodus of sponsors. Bauer's no, we don't want to be in on this anymore. Canadian Tire's we're done. Tim Hortons, big Canadian logos and brands were nah, man, we're out because your reputation is bad.
Yeah.
You think it's good? Oh no, man, we can't have this because you're gonna get tarnished by that. And to your point about what's the process going to be? Hockey Canada apparently has adopted some updated bylaws around the selection process, and what's going to occur is that apparently there will be an independent nominating committee that will vet those who will be potentially on the ballot, which I don't know about this independent nominating committee.
Yeah, the vetting procedure.
Right. And then the board that will be elected will only be elected for 1 year.
Right.
And there'll be a transition board. Now, these were recommendations that came from a report from Supreme Court Justice Thomas Cromwell, former Supreme Court Justice here in Canada. So to the credit of Hockey Canada, they've seen what has been provided to them and have said, okay, we'll do this. It's just, if this election were to occur and the new interim board were to come in, it's got to be okay, we're pulling everything back. We're putting everything out on the table. Let's look at it all together. It's the only way to earn back trust at this point.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You have to be completely transparent. You've got to unveil the ugly truth before you start moving forward.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll obviously talk about this as the season goes on. Because, at this point, I wouldn't doubt there's a fourth fund.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
So,
we don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes.
It's just amazing that they have funds for this. Not one, not two, but three. How big of a problem is it that you need three?
Yeah. And the fact that you can't then look at that and see, we might have a problem with our culture.
No. This is good business sense, Anna. We're being prudent business people and having three little hush-ish funds that no one needs to know about.
The problem is with society, not us, right?
It is. I mean, Hockey Canada was trying to do all of these victims a solid by not dragging them through the court system that is completely structured to, make it just infinitely difficult for them to prove their point.
Which is just how can they not see it as connected? It's all connected to this toxic masculinity.
You're being manipulated here by society, and the media, and politicians, and podcasters, and Twitter, and social media, because Hockey Canada's got a very good reputation, I'll have you know.
Yeah. Those sponsors didn't think so.
No, I mean, we've said it time and time again, money talks. And I think if Hockey Canada, NHL aside, Hockey Canada is part of what I would say is the big three in the world of hockey.
Yeah.
If not big two, big one, can be hit so hard by the loss of sponsorship revenue. I don't think it's unfair to suggest that sponsors might start taking a more prudent look at other things.
This is not to hype up the regional hockey authorities because they are riddled with their own problems. But
BC hockey is in the wait and see. Yeah, we're just trust the process reputation.
Yeah.
Wait and see where whatever.
But they're refusing to send their registration fees to Hockey Canada until.
Oh, BC finally said that?
No. Still within, what was it, PEI?
The Maritimes.
Newfoundland.
Yeah. And I think it was Nova Scotia, Halifax, I think, is hosting the World Juniors. And they were like, no, man, we don't want you. Could you imagine if this had not actually come to be, that the Canada would be in a position saying, we can't host this tournament? Is there a backup?
Yeah, that's insane.
I mean,
that's huge. But is that not where the problems came from?
True.
The junior team.
True that.
It should not be a given that people get to play in that tournament. It's such a huge part of the hockey calendar, but I don't know. I just don't think it should be necessarily something taken for granted that they just get to go back to it.
Mm-hmm. True. Anyhow, we'll know more as the weeks go on, and as you are aware, we will be back week after week after week, except for holidays. There's a couple that we're going to get into over the course of the next couple of months. Fast forwarding a little bit, it's not a holiday, but Halloween happens to be on a Monday. And as Baby Force is going to be out trick-or-treating, I have been tasked with being the giver of candy here at the Golden household. So Anna and I are going to record, but a day early. So you'll get a special Halloween spooky show.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are you dressing up?
No.
So you're just playing the part
I'm
of
gonna-
grumpy old man giving candy.
It comes naturally.
I can't really say anything because I'm literally wearing cat ears as my costume to work.
Well, at least you're putting on cat ears. I mean, I have on occasion like been silly about like throwing on like cat ears or stuff like that. Like, but I've tried like in my adult years, I think I've maybe dressed up a handful of times through work. But
Yeah,
it was like a team thing. And while I would not have been the person that would have instigated, let's do this team, I was not going to be the guy who wasn't going to be part of the team.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of my feelings. I'm not a Halloween person, so I will do the bare minimum. I mean, I'm literally writing a quiz for my work's Halloween celebration. But yeah, costume-wise.
Yeah, see, when I was at the telecom, we did that quite a bit. And so it was always around something to do with training because I was part of the training team. And so there was like one year we were the 80s trainers. And so we all dressed up like we were 80s fitness trainers.
Yeah, like the 118 people.
Mm-hmm. And then another year we were the training dead, like full on like
That's
makeup
good,
and all
though.
that jazz. And myself and one of the other trainers, we just started going around the office, and some of the offices had like, so they're kind of like fogged glass, but if you got close,
Yeah.
you could see through, right? And so one of the managers or whatever was in the office, and Joe and I just started, moving close and then bouncing up against it. And so all that she could sort of see was the like zombie figures and what have you. So did stuff like that.
Did you ever go as trains?
No, we did not go as trains.
That seems like a missed opportunity.
It probably was. So, and then when the pandemic hit in the old gig, I put to use the chroma keys and green screens that I have, and then use Zoom backgrounds and stuff. And so I played it up a little bit as if I was, trapped somewhere or on a beach somewhere, like, because I mean, that's mailing in Zoom backgrounds, but because of the stuff I have, it looks a whole lot better.
I feel like people are going to go hard at my job because I'm now working for a more creative company. So I feel like they're going to go hard, and I'm kind of excited to see what people do.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you're going real hard with the cat ears. Yeah. Oh, anywho, what else about our show do you need to know about? Patrons, just a reminder, our Patreon's been paused. I'm kind of thinking it'll probably remain that way for a while. Anna and I had been chatting about it, and I think we're going to probably, and I mentioned sort of last episode, transition to a new sort of platform and experience. But again, please do not be alarmed if for some reason Patreon goes away. I will do my best to let y'all know. But yeah, conversations going hard in the C4 discord.io/C4 podcast. The C4 hockey pool is underway, and I failed to actually log in at all and manage my roster, so yay for me.
I also put my roster in the hands of auto draft kind of by accident, because
I didn't do that.
See,
I actually was there.
Okay, well, that's good. I knew I wasn't going to be able to be there. I knew I was going to be in a movie. So I was, set aside time to, go through the players. I, got as far as maybe, 30 players, which wasn't enough, but I thought at least I'll have a start. That didn't save. So... Oh. I think there was quite a lot of laughter at my expense in the fancy hockey chat. So, yeah, Anna's fancy team is less fancy than desired, but...
Oh, sweet. I won last week.
Yeah, I feel better about my other fantasy team, where I did save the lineup, but...
I am currently losing this week, but... I did win last week.
Good for
who
you.
did I play last week?
Did you play me?
Matchups. I don't know. I'm against Sam's remarkable team right now. And let's see. Because usually what happens with me here is IR. But I'm not a day-to-day manager. How the heck I'm not accustomed to, there it is, week 1, to the Yahoo Fantasy, because I tend to stay away. Dude, I beat Nexus.
That's
Nexus'
always fun.
slam dunk team. I beat Nexus.
So if you want to, like, honestly, even if you're not in the fancy pool, like, come join in the chat on Discord, whether it's about the fancy pool and, like, making fun of Chris when he eventually loses, which probably will happen this week.
I'm sure it will.
Or you just need to commiserate about the Canucks continuing to give up multi-goal leads, or you want to like post your dinner, because honestly that might distract us and we'd feel better about that.
So you matched up against Sam's remarkable team last week. You did lose, but you didn't get just destroyed.
Yeah, I think I was ahead on like even yesterday. So
anywho, I actually don't know how this all works, because I'm now looking at my roster and I had like 4 players with 0 points, and yet I still beat Neil.
Okay. Well, the good thing about Yahoo is you can set your roster for a whole week with one click, like where it automatically starts players with the game. Which, if you have any Canucks players, may not be the best thing, but
yeah, I should look into that
feature.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and if you have any thoughts on this or anything else, the best way to reach us is obviously on Twitter, social media at the C4 Podcast, or by dropping us a voicemail, which you can do by just easily going to speakpipe.com/C4 Podcast. I haven't heard anyone's voice in a long time.
That sounds so sad.
I know. I mean, I've heard yours. You talked to me.
I know.
But,
basic, over it.
Someone should go there and just say, hello, Chris. I'm so sorry. You sound so sad. This is me. End of my voice.
Yeah.
Something
We'd like to hear that.
But yeah, any final words of wisdom there, Anna?
Surely it can't happen again 4 times in a row.
Surely it can.
Like, find another way to lose at least, Canucks.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Hey, before I forget, you going to the game on November 3rd?
Yeah, of course I am. To see, maybe Kevin Bieksa bring his skates, join the team.
Second worst contract ever.
Yeah. I mean, both my favorite players.
If Kev is still working out, I mean, I'd give him
bring your skates.
a PTO or ATO and see,
bring your skates, man.
Make it happen.
But yeah,
he retires as a Vancouver Canuck.
I'm very excited to see that. Like, I love Bieksa. He was him and Lou were my favorite players. The first season I became a fan. I met him. He was utterly charming, obviously, and I don't know. This is thoroughly deserved.
Agreed. I'm glad he's retiring a Canuck, not a Duck.
Yeah, quack.
He's not a Duck. He can say he's a Duck. He's not a Duck.
It's weird that he still lives in California, though, but maybe it's not that weird. Maybe it's just nicer weather.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Maybe you don't mind smoke.
Yeah, but we have that up here, too.
True. Anywho, you'll hear us again next week. Same place, same time, c4podcast.com. Drop us a 5-star review. Tell us how awesome we are. Leave us a voicemail. I feel lonely. But on behalf of Anna, A4603, myself, Chris at Lightforce, signing off the C4 Podcast from CanucksHockeyBlog.com and the Full Press Coverage Network with We Out.